Guys, welcome back. Naresh here. Today I'm going to continue our session. Which we are seeing GitHub Copilot. So it's just a recap what we have seen with GitHub Copilot. First, we saw who developed GitHub, how GitHub Copilot was developed, and the pricing system of GitHub Copilot, and then how it is enhanced with our Visual Studio Core or any IDE. We used a Visual Studio, and with that we have created an Flask API using Python, and then we have created a Terraform infrastructure with the AWS, creating instances, creating VPCs, creating security groups. And today what we're going to see here is today we're going to create an simple web application using Python and with the help of GitHub Copilot. And I guess you guys are ready to explore it. I showed you how simple it is to write and code without an code knowledge. I'm going to explain the same here. I'm on my IDE and I'm just going to give my command. I'm going to type here is give me a Docker file to create an web page using Python and folder structure with a folder structure. So what I'm going to create a web page using Python with the help of Docker file, and I'm asking my copilot to give me a folder structure to which I can push it to an GitHub, which it will give me the requirement file .txt, and also uh, the readme file. Okay, so now it gives me to create it. See, I gave an input and it creates a workspace for me, and I'm going to create a workspace for it. I'm just going to save it in my desktop. Inside workspace, I'm going to create a new folder. The folder name I'm going to create is Docker, and I am creating this as a parent. Docker parent folder, and it's creating. ID takes time. Yes, it asks me to open a new window. I'm opening in the same window, and in a second you can see the full file structures here in IDE. Yes, we can see here. So app.py, Docker file, and readme.md, and requirement.txt. So what is the main beauty of this is, when you give that you need and structure a folder structure, it gives you a readme file, a requirement.txt. See here, it shows a flash gun gun icon. These are all the requirements needed to implement or web API, and readme file which you can put it in your GitHub and showing what are all the things needed to be done to work this out. Manual steps are given here. And app.py where the Python code is written, so it is taking from Flask, importing from Flask, and it's routing to slash. And the homepage, it's welcome to my Python web application. It's a simple application which is we have not written any code, which is given directly from GitHub Copilot, so we are using the same as it is. And Docker file, it is. And yes, I'm using a Docker file. The Docker file, it takes a base image from Python, and the working directory is slash app, and it's copying the requirement.txt file, and it's running pip install, which is Python, and then it's copying the current structure into the current one, and then command it's running Python app.py. So, and prior to that, so we know, so it is going to get us a web page which is showing welcome to my API, which is using the Docker file. And I am going to run this app.py. Let us see whether it is. I'm going to run this in a terminal. Okay, so here we can see the terminal is open, and you can see automatically it got started running. Okay, and I'm going to check whether this link is working, whether our API is working or not. Okay, so I'll just follow this link, and then I will copy the link. I'm copying the link and I'm just pasting it in our Chrome browser. I'm just pasting whatever it is there in our Chrome browser. Okay, it takes a little time. Okay, uh, and I'm pasting the URL which is there, and I'm just hitting enter, and you can see welcome to my Python web application, which is all which we have given in our Python code. Welcome to my Python web app. This is what, and you can see the 200 code success. Okay, and you can see it here. Welcome to my web application, and it is running inside a terminal which we have created right now. Okay, and this is how we make we simplify our coding work with the use of GitHub Copilot. It actually help us to simplify our work in our day-to-day life as a DevOps engineer. So we have seen how to create an API, Flask API, which includes slash health with codes success rate 200, and then with the help of Terraform, we have seen how to implement infrastructure in AWS. We have implemented instances, security groups, VPCs, IAM role, S3. So all these things we have implemented in AWS using GitHub Copilot with Visual Studio Code. And also today, which we have seen is creating an web application, a web page using Python with the help of GitHub Copilot. So this is how it simplifies our work. So if you are a fresher, or if you are new to the development, or if you are new to the code industry, code world, so these videos will make you to understand how easy it is in AI world to code. You just have to understand the code. It gives you the code, you just have to understand the code, and you have to implement. Okay, in coming up videos, I'm going to come up with real world scenarios. It is like, you are working in an organization, and what is the scenarios you face in organization, and how we can rectify using GitHub Copilot, and or how we can implement those things with the help of GitHub Copilot. I'm going to show you in upcoming videos. So I am myself Naresh. I suggest you to recommend these videos to your friends, and also don't forget to subscribe this channel. And your comments are much more welcome, which helps me to enhance my video and give you more input on code world. Welcome to AI generation. Happy coding, Naresh. Bye bye.